Hi guys, I hope you guys are well. So we're working with the Starseed Oracle deck and the Divine Masters deck. And I'm shuffled, ready to go. And I flipped them both over, right? And the bottom of the Starseed deck talks about a star keeper, cosmic ancestor, seeding the light by staying grounded, okay? And then it's like you're the representative, okay? Right? You've done this many times before. You come from, the stars, the cosmic energy. You're like a cosmic force. And then I have Hilarion, which talks about divine emergence. This is about being seen, and it's about letting the world know your gifts. And the color green is extremely significant in this reading. All right, so this could be more expansive. All right, so let's just take a deep breath in. Okay, we're going to ask our angels, our saints, our ancestors, our guides, our cosmic families into our space, provide love and divine messages for our highest and greatest good. We're surrounded in divine white light and love, and so it is, and so will be. All right, so I'm guided to read a bit more about the Star Keeper. And I feel like many of us are feeling this energy. We're getting the intuitive downloads about this. And so I'm going to give us a bit more context. So it says, you're an ancient keeper of the stars, here to anchor and seed your light in your unique way. You're likely been incarnating on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. We're at a tipping point now. The survival of Earth and all its species is coming to a head. The more grounded you remain during this transitional period, the more helpful you'll be. The more you tend to the flames of your own heart, the more love you anchor onto this planet. The wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. The more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. Okay, so this is healing from past experiences where there was separation in some way, shape, or form, and through your karmic lessons and experiences here, you are calling those fragments back, okay? And it's like calling your soul back to itself, okay, in completion. So you may be going through like almost like soul retrieval energy. You may be called to be in different places in the world, okay, to anchor this light. Perhaps you travel to these different places almost to collect that fragment or call it back to you or resolve any stored emotions or experiences that maybe you're beginning to remember. So there could be a need for a bit of a quest for some of you. So it says perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. You may also find yourself experiencing awakening symptoms. The more grounded you remain, the more stable Earth's energy will become, and the less reactive humanity will be. So you're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and as part of a larger collective, okay? That the collective is bringing about a shift in frequency. So they're asking for you to trust that you can be in the world, but not of it, and lead a truly glorious life, okay? So, and then I have the golden children, okay? Rare gifts, purity, innocence. Like there's like an opening here, okay? Really, really working and being in that inner child energy and kind of like freeing that free spirit. All right, so that's just the Star Keeper energy. I wanted to also see a bit more about Hilarion. I just saw Ma'at, Kali Ma, Jesus, Isis. Let's see. Here we are. Hilarion is also known as Hilarion the Great or Saint Hilarion. Saint Hilarion was a master healer in the temples of Atlantis. So you very much could be here as a result of like bringing that technology, that progress, that wisdom, that knowledge into this incarnation. It's like wisdom keeper energy. So it says Hilarion was a master healer in the temples of Atlantis and also had incarnations in ancient Egypt. Yeah. In his last incarnation, he was born to pagan parents in Syria in the 4th century AD. He studied in Alexandria, Egypt, where he converted to Christianity. And it is said that from that moment, he dedicated his life to spiritual pursuits. At the tender age of 15, after hearing about the miracles of St. Anthony, he went off to his desert hermitage for 2 months. So he was a hermit in the desert for 2 months. He craved personal space, but the hermitage was busy, so he decided to go back home. After his parents had passed, he gave up all his worldly possessions and retreated to a cave in the wilderness. Hilarion spent the majority of his life away from humanity because he was a highly sensitive being who picked up on the energies of those he came very close to. It is said that those who came in his cave experienced miracles, including barren women becoming pregnant and people overcoming mental and other health challenges. Now Hilarion's soul helps light workers embrace their gifts and emerge from the cave of sensitivity. Wow, is this resonating for me? It's time to come out of hiding and be seen. Energetically, you have taken some time to retreat and recharge, which has been highly beneficial for your mental and emotional well-being. But now it's time to emerge. Don't get too comfy or fall into the ways of being because the old you wants to hide or old fears of persecution or judgment make you feel that you need to. You weren't born. Did you hear what I slipped? You weren't burned to suffer in this lifetime. You were born to surmount challenges and embrace and share your gifts. Wow. So in a past life, okay, I said that there was this like coming back and kind of like working through those fragments. And some of you may have dealt with, I know I have, persecution and judgment, whether in this life or another. And you very well could have been burned, okay, as a result of that persecution. So that's coming up for me to share. Consider it a personal share. I feel like you weren't born to suffer in this lifetime. You were born to surmount the challenges and embrace and share your gifts. If you have been holding back or hiding a part of yourself in order to fit in or conform, you are being encouraged to break the pattern and be seen in all of your glory. You're a powerful teacher and healer with the ability to break outworn family cycles and help others radiate their brightest light. Your personal journey shows others what is possible for them, but to do this, it has to be shared. Let all your gifts be shared. Wow. Awesome. So we're gonna expand here with the Starseed Oracle deck. All right. Activated Earth. Beautiful. It says power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So you very much could be going to do that work. Breath of the Cosmos, my will or thy will. And it talks about micromanaging the universe. Here's that Star Keeper. Like, it's not your plan, it's God's plan. It's the creator plan. It's the cosmic plan. Like, something so much grander than yourself, meaning who you acknowledge yourself as in this present moment, in this vessel, in this experience, right? There's so much more going on than what meets the eye, right? That could be even understood. That's what I'm getting. I have surrender to the sweetness, right? And then the seas of Mintanka. Okay, let's see. Surrender to the sweetness talks about Venus, okay, and that love energy. And there's a couple here. There's two people here. And there's pleasure here. There's joy. And it says, make love to life. Imagine like you being in so much love that this is what you manifest and create in your reality, right? I feel like you have the breath of the cosmos here, right? Something sweet is going to come of this as a result of surrender, seeding, right? You're the light being seeded here, okay? Look at the Seas of Mintanka, seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, we're going to read the breath of the cosmos. When we rely only on our will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. They're like, what are you worried about? Like, we spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of your life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be and surrender to the greater will, you'll find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. That's what they want you to do, okay? Amazing. Surrender to the sweetness. Surrender to the sweetness. This is a sensual, highly feminine card. It's a call to surrender to the sweetness of life, to let the ever-abundant feminine take over, to taste the fruit you've been working so hard to grow, to let your senses take over and really drink in your life and just wonder, to get intoxicated on the simple bounty that this planet has to offer and which you have within you when your well is full. This is like filling your own cup and it being infinite. The ancient Babylonians connected to the feminine goddess Ishtar, to the planet Venus, and in Roman mythology, Venus was the goddess of love and beauty. In our night sky, aside from the moon, Venus shines the brightest. Time is our most precious resource, and it's the greatest healer. If you've been all work, no play, this is a sign to take some time out, to reconnect with your lover, play with your children, and give yourself the luxury of time without an agenda. Many of us are too busy building our lives that we forget to enjoy them. Sometimes we forget why we decided to build them in the first place. Disconnecting from the sweetness causes more pain than we realize. So many of us walk into soulless buildings 5 days a week in the name of survival. We strive to build the life of our dreams, but drive ourselves to exhaustion. This card is wooing you back to the pleasures of being human, to focus on what really matters and enjoying your incredible life. Wow, that's awesome. So it's like, take time out to enjoy where you're at in this present moment. It's like smelling the flowers along your path. So Mintanka is thought to have been a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you could ever imagine. So clear that you could see for miles and miles underwater. The Seas of Mintanka card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that like what you're currently doing has great potential Mintonkins are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. So some of you might resonate with this. You may have received this as confirmation to a situation or a project that has extreme potential and will reach fruition. So that would be clarity for you. If it appears, in a spread, it's a positive sign, okay? So that things are going to be working out for the highest and greatest good. It's a very uplifting, light-filled card, okay? So this brings like harmony, contentment, and positive outcomes. So this is a great card to have in our reading today. According to Carl Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means you may be called to bring the light in unconscious patterns of which you're unaware, to look at them and see them clearly and consciously so they don't appear in your life as fate. What unconscious patterns or behaviors are ready to be brought to the light of day so that they can be released, so that they don't become part of fate. Wow, beautiful. I love this. All right. Thank you, Sir Hilarion. We're going to get some messages from the Divine Masters now. Look who's first. The Master. The teacher awakens. The student becomes the master. Divine magic. Okay. Both. Amazing. Thank you. So great teachings. You could be like an initiate. You could resonate with that. You could resonate with like you're on the path. You're discovering your own divine magic, and now you're able to share this, right? Share the wisdom. Look at this Kali Ma eyes right here. Do you see that? I'll be watching you. I got my eye on you. Yeah, cosmic power. Yeah, unlimited potential, sacred mission, initiation. So remember how I was getting like that initiate energy? All right, so we have Buddha, heightened awareness. Okay, so your energy, your thoughts, and you're working on managing this energy. I feel like you make peace with your thoughts and your world, so you're very much at like peace. And then we have inner learnings, follow your heart and truth will prevail. Ishtar, inner learning. And then we have Kali coming out. Woo-wee! Kali Ma. So this talks about divine severance, cutting cords to dramas, fears, and limitations. Wow. And then we have Hilarion here. All right, so we're going to go there. Look, I already have them like tagged here. I oftentimes will refer to Thoth as the big H, okay? Thoth is the ancient Egyptian ibis-headed god of writing, divine magic, and the moon. Acknowledged as the sacred scribe who created writing, he was considered to be the maintainer of the Egyptian universe. It is said he was the priest king of Atlantis and was dedicated to leading the Atlanteans in a loving way that was firm but fair. However, no matter how hard he tried to direct them, many of them didn't obey the spiritual laws, which brought a cataclysmic end to their civilization. In the Western magical community, Thoth is seen as an all-powerful spiritual guide who can help us understand the energy of magic and the power of our will. He is the mastermind behind the Hermetic texts, and the ancient Greeks knew him as Hermes Trismegistus, and the Romans as Mercury. When you feel called to this master, it's because divine magic is unfolding in your world, and you are ready to write the story of your life. It says the powers of heaven and earth are uniting at this time, putting the power of creation into your hands. Whatever you set out to do, you will do. You are in a vortex of manifestation. All of the lessons of the past have given you a better understanding of what will best be for your highest and greatest good and truth. You are a magical being who deserves to have a magical life. Believe in who you are and call in all you need and more. You are no longer the student You're the teacher. Take everything you have learned and put it to use. Your life will never feel complete or fulfilled until you share what you have experienced during this incarnation. There are lessons to be learned from the events of your life, and these will be great gifts to those who receive them. Take time to create a plan of action and put down in writing what you intend to do so that the universe can bear witness to it and support its unfoldment. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Get your pens ready. The master scribe wants you to scribe. I am getting like automatic writing for some of you. And also like scribing, like being able to receive guidance to go to certain pages, read certain things, note certain things down, maybe put certain things together. Maybe there's a way in which you receive messages, and there's no right or wrong way in which for you to receive and connect messages from your spiritual team. Okay. The Buddha talks about heightened awareness, making peace with your thoughts and your world, especially now and moving forward. There's a need to really connect with your inner peace and your inner guidance. Okay. The Buddha started his life as a molly-coddled prince, but one day he broke free from the palace grounds and was exposed to the harsh reality of life in the form of sickness, age, and death. It shook him to the core. Suffering was real, and this really set him off on a spiritual adventure, okay, that would lead to leaving behind all his earthly pleasures in order to search for an end to all suffering in the world. Today, the Buddha is a spiritual master who is willing to help all beings move beyond fear and suffering. Even if you're not a practicing Buddhist, this amazing soul will help you reflect on your past and understand the present so that you can reach a heightened state of awareness and stay connected to what is real and true. Don't fight the thoughts that disturb you, for when you fight your thoughts, you create a war in your mind. Your thoughts aren't your enemies. In fact, your mind is a neutral space that allows you to connect with both fear and thoughts and love and feelings. When this card comes to you, you're being guided to know when you experience fear, you have an opportunity to stand in love. When your fears appear in thought form, instead of fighting or running from them, be aware of them, acknowledge them, and realize that they are part of you as well. Just like the Buddha, you have the ability to become one with all that is. When you see your fears and experience them with all your being, they can no longer have power over you. You see, you're only trapped by the prospect of fear, not fear itself. Today you have the opportunity to make peace with your thoughts in order to encounter more peace in your world. Thank you, Buddha. That's awesome. The next one's Ishtar. Inner learnings. Following your heart and truth prevails. Ishtar, whose name means the precious, is the East Semitic, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian goddess of love and war. She was known as Inanna by the Sumerians and Astarte by the North Semitic peoples. She has many names and many faces. As long ago as 4000 BCE, she was acknowledged as the Queen of Heaven, protector of the cosmos, and instigator of truth. She was often depicted with 6 and 8 pointed stars, which were originally general symbols of the heavens, but in the old Babylonian period, she became associated with Venus, the planet of love and desire. Many people have been challenged by the fact that Ishtar is linked to both love and war. From my own impressions of the energy she represents, I believe she helps us to connect with this root energy of desire, including the desire to fight for what we believe in and what we know to be true. When she appears, only the truth can prevail, right? So information is being revealed to you, and it's important that you listen, especially as there's a good chance it will bring a war between your head and your heart. You're being guided to listen to your heart, the part of you that makes decisions based on what feels best rather than what makes sense. You may have to take a decision that makes you feel like you're losing out, but in fact, will lead you to feeling of finding treasure or even feeling treasured. So something is not what it seems. It's actually better than what it seems. It's like, but you have to have that faith and you have to trust. You're being encouraged to seek the truth now, even if it's challenging or difficult. It's important to honor it. The truth will always prevail, whether it is now or in the future. You're being guided to save yourself emotional strain and also time by allowing what needs to be shared, said, felt, and communicated in order to be more connected to your heart and ultimately for the highest good of all. You may have to take a decision that makes you feel like you're losing out, but in fact will lead you to a feeling of finding a treasure or even feeling treasured. Okay. Interesting. And then we're going to talk about Kali. Kali Ma is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. She is a destroyer of evil forces and protector of liberation. In the Hindu pantheon, she is the most powerful expression of Shakti, who is ultimately an expression of life force energy in a dynamic feminine form. In Sanskrit, Kala means darkness, and Ma means to bring or create. So Kali Ma is the bringer of darkness. Darkness isn't to be feared. However, over the years, especially in Western culture, we've been told that it's bad, but in fact, it's a sacred part of life. Before we were born, we were all wrapped in the darkness of the womb, right? The earth herself was born in the darkness of the cosmic sky. And every night when we sleep, we step back into this space. So the great goddess Kali brings the energy of creation, birth, and renewal. Stop right there. Don't let dramas or other disruptive energies get between you and the light that you were born to be. Before a molehill becomes a mountain, release yourself from a situation that is only going to drain you and bring you pain. Today, the universe, through the great goddess Kali, is encouraging you to cut the cords between you and unnecessary people, places, and situations. Do it now. Your soul desires freedom and liberation. In your current circumstances, you're currently holding the wheel of karma in your own hand, and you get to decide if a situation takes over your energy or not. Don't let yourself be pulled into something that is not yours to deal with or carry. Take your karma and your future back into your own hands. If you are afraid, good. That means you're on the cusp of something great that's unfolding. And then I have the initiatory experience for some of you. All right, so wow, powerful. Then we have be seen, let the world know your gifts. And then underneath that is the Atlanteans. Evolution, vibration, legacy, technology, progress, expect acceleration. And then you're known as a devoted warrior, okay? Hanuman, let God's love hold you in strength. You're not doing this alone. You're so not doing this alone. Wow. Spiritual awakening. Mahavata Babahi, interconnectedness, understanding the inner workings. Yeah. It's like you're guiding others through your own experience here. And that's how everything is unfolding. It's beautiful. So beautiful. And I just want to leave you with this. It says, trust where you're being led. Okay? Right? You definitely have something much bigger planned out here. And just remember that you're the seed, right? And that you have to nurture the seed from within, okay? So that it can grow. And as a result, more seeds can be planted. So just remember that it's important that you do understand that, like, this experience is not all that is, okay? But you are a fractal of what is all that is, if that makes any sense. I know, that probably was very confusing. Oy vey. Yeah, I'm getting, like, with this bringing, like, this unconsciousness to light, like, energetically, it's something that you may have, like, done naturally your whole life and may have been, like, judged for it, or people didn't want to listen to you, or somehow, like, they felt certain kind of way about you, or they weren't your vibe, or I feel like you've always had this, like, flashlight effect about you, okay? The lighthouse effect. Yeah. Yeah. And so you may spend a lot of time, like, dipping in, dipping out. Like, I'm kind of seeing them, like, dip in and dip out, right? But there's a lot of time also that you experience things, like, otherworldly, right? But then, you know, this is you having that earthly bliss and experience, really tapping into the beautifulness of life. So, yeah, I feel like you're going to have an interesting journey soon. One that's going to call you to places that will really strongly resonate with your soul, right? You may be seeking to connect with your star ancestors, your lineage, okay, in the sense of, like, your soul and your life experiences. Not so much your, like, this lifetime's ancestors per se. Like, I'm just, like, looking at the top of this card, and it looks like other planets, you know what I mean? So I'm getting, like, out of this world energy. And then this is, like, the wisdom keepers right here, and this resonance, right? There's, like, a panel of experts available and assisting, okay? These star keepers, these golden children, those volunteers, the helpers, the guides, the healers, those that feel deep, that can hold the waters, especially of remembering here, and grounding. Right? There's a need to share this technology, the legacy, the progress, the acceleration here, and it literally is to, you know, advocate for humanity's independence. Right? There's this gifted one energy, Paul the Venetian. This talks about revealing hidden talents. All right, opportunities to shine, opportunities to be that lighthouse that you have been, you know. Look at this, the divine director. And then we have Jesus. Trust the process. Create space for divine order to unfold. And then it says, when you serve, the universe serves you. Right? And Jesus is beautiful energy here for us to all connect with. So, all right. This is a very grand orchestrated effort playing out here. So cool. Let's thank them all for their help and support. All right, you all, I'm going to leave this reading. I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, have a great day.